I'm drinking that cacao and open up the hot chakra. Open up my hot chakra.
Hey everyone!
Hello. Happy Friday.
Ooh, open up the heart chakra. Drinking the cacao.
Cacao.
Woo! Oh my gosh, you guys, I just found like a really good song for our cacao ceremonies.
Cheers.
Oh, here's our cacao. It's called Lit Like Chocolate. We got our cacao. If you can see a little bit of our cacao there.
I'm going to pour it out. There's my cacao.
In my unicorn mug. Ooh.
In my Lake Tahoe mug.
If you guys can see, like right behind us, right here, we just got our whole shipment of cacao.
50 pounds.
From Guatemala. Ooh, so we're ready.
Virgin cacao.
We're ready. Ceremonial cacao. Yes. So today we wanted to talk to you guys about we're talking about plants, plant medicine. And one of the things that we were just having this discussion yesterday, we wanted to really talk about integration after plant medicine. Because people really are interested in healing right now, healing with the sacred plants, going to an ayahuasca ceremony, going to an iboga ceremony,
peyote
or
psilocybin
ceremony.
It doesn't really matter which plant medicine you're going to work with. I mean, you listen to your own calling, see which plant calls to you. They all have their own intelligence, their own spirit, their own energy, unique energetic signature. All of them have tremendous healing capability.
Right.
But the plant alone doesn't do all the healing. Mm-hmm. You do the healing, mm-hmm. right? So the plants are powerful. They can allow us to see where we're tripping. They can allow us to see the reason why we are not well, why we had a particular experiences, traumas, and whatnot. Understand the underlying conditions and heal that way. It's what we do after the ceremony that is super important, and that's what we want to talk about. What do we do after the ceremony? This is where the integration comes in.
We have known people who have done ayahuasca over 200 times. Mm-hmm. And it
seems like they were not healed at all.
And for me, if I did ayahuasca 200 times, I'm going to be a freaking ascended master by now. Like, whoa, the layers and layers of healing that happen each ceremony can be so powerful if you take what happened in that ceremony and integrate it in your physicality here. And so when you journey with sacred medicines, it can be challenging, and you can see those dark aspects of yourselves, and you can release a lot of things during the ceremony. You can also see a lot of where your life is headed. You can get clarity on many things. So depending on your intention, it will dictate the ceremony. So people really love the feeling. They love the feeling of that, whoa, I just released a whole bunch of stuff. And then usually at the end, you have this feeling of oneness, this feeling of unity, this
expansion,
feeling of love. Like you feel so connected to everyone and everything. I mean, that's how I felt. My first ayahuasca ceremony, I was just in this freaking, at the end, bliss and unity and just so much love. I mean, oh my God, I thought I knew what love was, but I really didn't know what love was until I had that cosmic universal experience of love that was actually flowing through my physical body, which now I know it wasn't just my physical body, but it was my whole energetic bodies all together, merging and meshing with all of the consciousness of the universes, the multiverses. So I really felt within me God consciousness flowing, and it was so amazing, and it's so expansive. And I see why people want to go back and do the medicine. We when we experience that, I want to say that euphoria, that bliss, and that state of being, which I feel is our natural. This is we're designed to be in that state of being where we are in bliss, and we're experiencing the flow of the higher power, through us. And it's amazing. Like if we could feel that every day, every day. I mean, we hear stories, I don't know if you guys know, but there are stories of like ascended masters and saints who go into that samadhi state, which is that union with the higher power, the God consciousness, and are in that bliss, like Buddha, all of that, right? And so when we journey with the sacred plants, you can get to that place where you're so connected. Iggy, can you talk about your Bufo experience?
That was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So I only did Bufo. So what is Bufo? Bufo is the 5-MeO-DMT, which is derived from, not derived, it comes right from the frog, from Sonoran desert toad. The toad is not harmed. They basically just squeeze these poisonous sacs to get the secretion out on a piece of glass or mirror, which then is scraped, and then later on it is put in a liquid form and lit up, basically.
Okay, well, let's just stop right there for a second. I know some of you are like, "What the heck? Poisonous?"
Yeah, so
from a frog,
this toad is poisonous, but when that poison is heated up and a vapor was created from that, it turns into 5-MeO-DMT, which is not poisonous, but it's psychedelic. It gives you psychedelic experience. So DMT is something our body produces naturally, right? But these 5-MeO-DMTs are super powerful, and so it is incredibly powerful trip. It's like being strapped to a rocket and going to Mach 5 in 5 to 10 seconds, So when you watched the Star Wars movies and they put it in a warp drive and you see all these stars just going white and they just streak like this around you, that's what it feels like when you're on 5-MeO-DMT, when you're just getting into the experience. It's super intense, super fast. You take 3 hits, they want you to fill up the lungs with this. And
can you describe how it's held and all of that? What, I want them to know what that looks like.
What do you mean how it's held?
The medicine.
So normally, I mean, I don't know how everybody else experiences, but it typically comes in a beaker in a liquid form. And it's like Erlenmeyer flask, which is kind of like a beaker that is kind of getting it's wider at the bottom and narrower at the top with the plug, with the stopper at the top. And then it has a side shoulder to which they attach this rubber hose. And once they light up the liquid, heat it up, this white smoke fills up the beaker, and you're basically supposed to be inhaling that smoke. And so it is kind of eerie when you go what's in there? Am I supposed to be putting that in my lungs? It's not I didn't feel comfortable with that. I mean, I didn't have experiences like that before. So, I mean, I did smoke some pot, but this seemed a little bit different from anything else that I've ever tried. And so I took first hit, and I was supposed to not exhale and take second hit and then a third one. And it was really difficult to really fill up my lungs with the substance. But by the time I was taking third hit, stuff was already escaping from my mouth, from my lungs. And they said, no, don't exhale. Just take another breath in. And it was really difficult for me to do that. But after I took the third hit, I was really in the experience. They just had to lay me down. So within a second, it acts so fast. And it was super powerful. I had a hard time even keeping breath with the amount of energy that was flowing through me. It felt like I have expanded into the universe. I felt like I became one with all of the existence. Like I literally like expanded to the edges of the universe and felt such a tremendous power of light and love within me. And I felt the connection to everything. So I had this like sensation of that within me is like an infinite source of love, an infinite source of power to create whatever I desire, infinite source of abundance. This is just incredible. It's something that you cannot even convey in words. It's beyond language and conventions that we hold, or definitions that we hold within our language. It's not possible to describe it fully. I didn't have any kind of visions like I typically would have on psychedelic experience, like mandalas or sacred geometry. None of that, just pure blinding white light and just this incredible energy and power behind it all. The love, it was just so overwhelming. I was like literally exploding with love. And so it was super powerful experience, something that I was almost not ready for. Even though I've done ayahuasca before, I've done magic mushrooms before, this was super intense experience. And I can see how some people can freak out on this because they are not ready for the intensity of the emotions. The emotions were amplified, like, imagine the greatest joy and the greatest, maybe sadness and everything else, and amplified times 1,000. These, like, the scale of emotions can be wide ranging. And so if people have unhealed stuff within them, this will be brought up to the surface and they can have quite negative experience from this. So it is important to hold it with reverence and do it the right way. So it was an experience that was super powerful, something that I probably don't need to do ever again because it was super, super intense. But I'm glad I did that because it gave me certain knowing and certain connection that I don't think I will ever lose. But so we want to talk about the integration and importance of integration.
Well, this is why we want to say first that a lot of people I wanted Iggy to describe that experience because it is so otherworldly. It's something like you don't experience here in physicality, not like on a daily basis, don't experience like that. And so what happens is when you do, an experience, like that. So that was a Sonoran desert frog, medicine, bufo or sapo is what it's called. It's so transcending to your human, right? That you're like blown away by this, and you're just like, whoa, me in my 3D physical body, I can experience that. And then and that can happen on other plant medicines, maybe not to that degree, that fast. But I know for me, in my ayahuasca journeys, I felt that same. I didn't get there like fast like that, but it was, over the course of the ceremony. And so a lot of people like love that. They're like, wow, I feel the oneness, the joy, and they want to go back.
Yeah, because in many ways you transcend death, right? So what happens, you connect to the eternal, immortal consciousness that you are, right? It goes beyond the body. So the body is only one aspect of who you are, but there is, you can call it soul, you can call it greater, your higher self or greater consciousness or God self, whatever you want to call it. But there is some greater aspect of you that we can connect to using sacred plant medicine, and you also connect to the field of infinite possibilities, to the quantum field, from which you can heal and you can manifest things for yourself.
So we see, we've been in this like plant medicine world now for a few years, and we just see like how people start to want to go to more and more and more and more ceremonies. They're like, oh, I love that feeling. Oh, I want to, I got this message or whatever, then I'm going to take more medicine. I'm going to go take more medicine. I'm going to go take more medicine. And that's why I said we know people who have done like 200 ayahuasca ceremonies, in like 2 years. And I'm like, okay, well, and for us, the way that they are, there was still a lot of, we knew a lot of healing that needed to be done. And for me, if I freaking did 200 ceremonies, like, I don't even know, I better be like a walking master here on earth with what, I mean, for me, what I receive in ceremony is so intense and so much wisdom from the universe comes through, and so much healing, comes through. And I feel like if I did, I have not done ayahuasca 200 times, but I feel like if I've done that, then there has to be a certain level of mastery within me walking here on the planet right now.
Which is what plant medicine itself doesn't do for you, okay? The spirit of these sacred plants will always honor your free will. We exist in free will universe. And so the plant medicine is powerful, so it can show us a lot of things, it can teach us a lot of things, but it will not do all these things for us. So that's what we want to talk about. Like, why is it important to do integration post-plant medicine? And what does it really mean? What is integration, right?
Right.
So integration is basically like allowing time for shit to settle, okay? So processing whatever happened and then making decisions for yourself. Like, when you have these realizations, epiphanies, what do you choose to do with that? How do you implement those in your daily practice to create what you desire for yourself or to become grander version of yourself? That's where the power lies, really. That power lies within you through your own intentions and through your own decisions and through daily actions and practices.
So I just want to say, like, for my first ayahuasca experience, nobody was there for me, to provide any kind of integration. I did, ayahuasca several years ago with this couple that comes from Hawaii, and they have, this is their sacrament for their church, and they came here, and I did a ceremony with them, and a lot of things happened to me afterwards. I mean, I never did any kind of anything before. I never
any mind altering substances besides alcohol.
I've never done like pot, nothing. And so ayahuasca is like the first plant medicine that I did. And so afterwards, there was so much going on that I didn't know how to process at all. All I wanted to do after that was meditate. Actually, in my 3D job, I had to see clients every day, a lot of clients every day. And it was really hard to be in somebody else's energy afterwards. But what happened to me is my eyes changed. I asked for, things to be activated, DNA to be activated within me so that I could be of service to the planet and be on my soul mission. And so what happened was I couldn't see people in the way that we normally see people. I was just seeing light fields. I was just seeing people as walking light, walking chakras, basically walking balls of light. And it was like shocking, like how come I can't see? I saw eyeballs, no skin, and just everybody was like light, to me. And that happened for 3 weeks. And all I wanted to do was meditate. That's it. I remember going, I didn't even eat much for 3 weeks, like an apple a day or something like that. I would come home during my lunchtime, meditate, go back to work, come home, all I wanted to do was meditate, like do stuff as the mommy
Well, I could
stuff.
imagine how that would freak out anybody, that kind of experience, especially when nobody told you what to expect or what can happen,
No.
or have any guidance after you had that experience.
Yeah, no one guided me, no one. And what was funny is that I didn't seek any guidance. I was like, who can I talk to about this? Like, what, you know what I mean? It's such a crazy experience that like, who would believe me? Who could I talk to about this? Who would understand what was going on with me? So I just like kept it to myself and like a group of my spiritual friends, you know, and that was it. And I had to do my own like processing and working it out within me. So I would go into meditation multiple times of the day. And all I would want to do was be in that state of meditation so I could like connect and hopefully, you know, in that time of meditation, get some guidance as to what to do, which I did. I got like some guidance, but you know, initially I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Does everybody experience this after ayahuasca? You know, all those things going in my head. And so after doing ayahuasca now many times, I understand that afterwards, you as an individual have processing to do, because so many things can happen during the ceremony based on what your intentions are going into the ceremony.
And processing can take weeks or months.
Or years.
Even years in some cases. Which is why it's important not to want to jump right into another ceremony.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so it's not uncommon when you go to a retreat center that you do multiple ceremonies in a row. So you could do like ceremonies like day after day after day, maybe for a 5-day period. And there is a reason for that. The reason why these ceremonies are done back to back is that you break down any resistance, which means like your ego trying to block those experiences and come to full heart opening, full connection to your true self, higher self, without the ego being in a way, right? But once that is done, once you reach the place of unity consciousness, there is no need to go further right away. And the next important step is the integration.
And so we know that it's so helpful. It's so helpful to have someone there post ceremony, someone to talk to, someone to help you, someone to guide you through all of the emotions that are coming up to the surface. Also, like if you do, you know, a retreat and you're in a specific location, you're in a very sacred container there. And so that container is really holding your energy field, you know, to transform and shift and change. And then when you go back to your life, you're this like different person, but everybody around you has not changed. And so if you just think about that, the jarring energy of you going back to your life, you know, your 3D life is challenging and difficult, because then you're like, wow, I just had this amazing experience here doing plant medicine. I come back and like, whoa, now what do I do? Nobody else has changed, but I totally feel different. What happens for most people is things don't resonate with them anymore.
Particularly if they are in some kind of toxic or dysfunctional situations. And it could be a personal relationship. It could be
their job.
It could be their job. It could be their partner. It could be other family
it could
members.
Be their environment where they're living,
Yes.
that doesn't resonate with them, you know, anymore. We have found that people who have done plant medicine too, they look at all the things they own and they start getting rid of their stuff.
where they're
Right.
evaluating everything in their life and and connecting to the meaning of that, right? So if something no longer brings them joy or doesn't resonate with them, they want to get rid of it. It doesn't serve them any longer, right? That thing or person or relationship, whatever was there for purpose, it served its purpose. And if it's over, then they acknowledge it and they move to new things. Because when we hold on to the old things that no longer serve us, it puts brakes on our expansion and development.
And what also happens is that because you have this like multi-dimensional experience with the medicine, most people do, is that when you go back to your physical life, what happens is you start to understand energies more. You start to feel sensitive to different energies. And so a lot of people start to like, wow, I was eating this and I don't feel like eating that anymore. Or I was like drinking coffee and coffee doesn't resonate
or
with
alcohol
anymore, or alcohol or whatever. Like people start to make different food choices, and most of it is for the better, because you start to understand energy and vibrational frequency, and you want to support your new level of frequency that happened to you. So then the things that you eat, the people that you're around, your environment, you want to have that level of frequency around you,
or vibration,
and
right?
and like support you. So
and this is one of the things that we're not taught. At least we were not taught that growing up, that we are energetic beings and that we have certain frequency, and then how to manage our energy and how to manage our frequency, how to maintain our frequency. So these choices that people post plant medicine experience are making is to maintain their frequency higher. And they tend to shed those things that lower their vibration, right?
Yes.
And so we honor that. And again, we are not in judgment of anybody who, doesn't make these adjustments, because it's a very personal choice for every soul. Every soul is on its own path, and we honor all souls, whatever path it is that they choose, right? It's a free will universe. But the majority of people do make significant changes in their life.
And we feel that after you do have such a powerful plant medicine ceremony, that it is just so helpful. It's so helpful to have that support, that guidance, somebody who's gone through stuff too, to help you integrate all of what you experience, into your physical life now. And so Iggy and I do that with our retreats. Anybody who goes on retreat with us, we provide 3 months of integration, because we know that critical time post retreat or after the ceremonies is so crucial, because like I said, like you come up to your life, and the energy, when you go back, you were in a sacred container being held, in ceremony, and then you're out of that container. Then you go back to your life and you're not in that container anymore. And so the energy feels so jarring to your frequency that then what starts to happen with a lot of people is like, whoa, I don't know how to navigate through all of this. I don't know how to manage my emotions. I don't know what to do if somebody's coming at me. I don't know, like just stuff like that starts to happen.
Well,
right?
And we've gone through experiences where when we first started to work with plant medicine, we were not offered any integration post ceremonies. And it became obvious to us that this is sorely missing.
Oh, yeah.
So many people are lost when they go and do plant medicine. So we invite you to think about that. And think about, like, if you've never done plant medicine, but you're called to do that, think about who are you going to be working with, because that integration is so critical because it will help you manage your decisions, your life, your energy once you are in that heightened state of consciousness or expansion.
So with Iggy and I, we just want to kind of go over and touch over like a little brief summary of what we do with people who go on retreat with us. We just find it, really important first to stay in contact because that is when things come up, post ceremony, it's so many things can happen. And so, we tell everybody that comes with us, like, oh my God, you can like contact us, whatever, call us up, text us, whatever. And we'll be there for support. And sometimes people just need someone to hear them out, and to acknowledge, because we don't get acknowledged enough, to acknowledge their feelings and whatever it is that they're going through.
But it's important to have someone who understands what psychedelic experience is all about. So because when you're trying to explain something to someone who's never gone through that, they think that you just like dropped off from another planet or something.
Yeah,
because the experiences are so out of this realm,
multidimensional,
that again we lack language many times to fully express what we've gone through, and how to relate to someone who's never gone through that.
Right.
So the importance of having experienced facilitators, right, or people who've done their work, who've gone through these experiences and integrated them, and then people who are truly in that place of unity and understanding that we are all part of the same greater existence, right, of creation, and understand we're all part of the one thing, the one great spirit. And particularly people who choose to be in service to the universe, to humanity, and to the greater good of the universe or creation. Because, go ahead.
And so it's like for us, because of our own personal experiences, because of what we experience, after doing plant medicine ceremonies and the afterwards. Luckily, Iggy and I have done many ceremonies together. And so it's good for us to like talk about things and like process things and work it out, with each other, which is so helpful.
We could share with one another.
Yeah, which is so
bounce the ideas and our experiences, compare the notes, and kind of like we helped each other to navigate through that minefield, if you will, because it can be.
And because Iggy and I, we hold the same soul mission here on the planet and have many lifetimes together and have so much connection and timelines together that, in our experiences with plant medicine, we do have similar things, that happen. So it's totally awesome for us to talk about, what happened during our journey. And sometimes we have like so much that's so similar. Let's talk about that one experience in Peru.
Oh, the dark thing?
Yes. The dark thing.
Wow. So
yeah, let's talk about the dark thing.
So like, I've done ayahuasca like 11 times now.
I don't know.
I think it's about 11 times. It's a good number. Anyway, when we were in Peru, that was in 2019, right? November 2019, we were in Peru, and we were there for 11/11 Gateway. We did ayahuasca there 3 times, and I've never thrown up during ayahuasca ceremonies up to that point. And it was the second ayahuasca journey there, where I was like processing something. My intention going into that particular ceremony was expansion, right? And I got clear message from the medicine. Well, expansion requires release and complete surrender. I said, like, okay, I understand. I release. I choose to like let go of everything. And it was particularly hard for me energetically. I felt like I could hardly keep up with breathing, with the energies that were coming and flowing through me. I felt like this incredible energy was flowing through my entire body. I could hardly take full breaths to keep up with the intensity of emotions and energy that were running through me. And I started to feel a little nausea and discomfort, but I was like not sure if I'm going to throw up. So I kind of like, got bucket ready, and I'm like thinking maybe I'm going to throw up, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever it needs to happen. And it wasn't until this Shipipo woman shaman came in front of me, and she was singing the Icarus for me. And so she was working energetically on me. The minute she was done and she moved off to my right, to the next person to me, I immediately purged. It was just incredible. Like I knew that she helped with the release of whatever it was within me. Because like the minute she was done, stuff was coming out. And I can tell you, this felt huge. Okay. I felt like I was some kind of snake, that my jaw actually unhinged, because I felt like my mouth needed to open so wide for whatever is coming to come out. And I felt like I was throwing up a whole bunch. And when I was throwing up, I was feeling that I was actually literally throwing up a being. Okay. And it was not a pleasant entity. It was some kind of reptilian thing. And it felt like it was green, gray, scaly, slimy, slippery, with scales and a tail. Like, and damn, I felt like I threw it up in a bucket. And the thing, I was like, and it was dark. So when Shipipo tradition, like you journey in complete darkness, maybe there was one candle lit somewhere. I could barely see, but I felt like I filled up the bucket. Later on when I looked in the bucket, there was barely anything on the bottom. So clearly it was energetic, right? But there was something on an energetic level, something dark within me that needed to come out.
Describe what it looks like, you do.
Yeah, so it was definitely like some kind of reptilian being. And it was, I was like horrified. I was like, crap, this thing was within me. Like, what the hell is that? And is it in every human, right? And then my other thought was, where the hell did it go? Like, I don't want it to go into anybody else. Where the hell did it go? And so I was kind of like, part of me was like, okay, I'm responsible now because I released that stuff, but where did it go? And then I got this like intuition guidance that this is in every human. Like this is the implant that is within humanity that is holding us in fear. This is like the control mechanism that is like this, like the negative implant that keep us oppressed and in a fear state where we can't fully blossom and reach our complete potentials, right? So that was an interesting like experience for me, but I was like, later on I shared it with the group. But I was like, what the hell was that? Because I've never heard about it from anyone sharing this kind of experience. And the interesting thing is that Judy had very similar experience that same night, that same ceremony. She was not sitting there near me, but she went through the similar thing. So you want to share your experience?
And so during the ceremony for me, that specific one, I was feeling it was really physical for me because I was healing some physical things in my uterus. So it was like a lot was burning up in my uterus because I had tumors in my uterus. And so, I went in there to heal and have that intention to heal the tumors that I had in my uterus. And so I felt fire and everything going on in my uterus. But there was a point in that ceremony, that second ceremony, where I just felt like throwing up. And I honestly felt like Mama Ayahuasca was opening my mouth so wide. And so I felt like the hinges of my jaw were like going to crack open or something. It was like she was opening my mouth wide. I remember holding the bucket and I was like dry heaving at first, like dry heaving, but my mouth was open so wide and nothing was coming out. And I don't even know how many times I did that dry heaved, but I just felt like I remember feeling in my stomach like something was like moving. It felt like a snake-like thing, like moving, and I could really feel it. I was just like, oh, what's going on with my intestines? Do I need to go use the bathroom? Like my 3D mind was thinking, that. And so once I felt like purging and I got my bucket and I was dry heaving several times, finally, like I just did like a massive like purge while I was purging. This is like while in that however many seconds I was purging, I saw this scaly, being, this scaly being like to my left. Like I was like throwing it up and I saw this same, scaly, being that came out. And I was like, whoa. I was like, holy shit, that thing just came out of me. That scaly being, reptilian looking thing, just came out. And I was the same with Iggy, with Iggy, like after I saw my bucket, I didn't even throw up that much. It was like nothing, really. So it was this energetic purge of reptilian energy that got released between, the both of us.
And it was interesting that we were so in sync that it came out of both of us at the same time, right? So, I mean, we are not even like, physical partners. So we don't like share that level of, energetic connection like intimate couples do, right? Yet, I mean, we are energetically tied very closely as being on a spiritual journey together. But it was kind of interesting that we had that experience in the same ceremony.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is like something I've never heard before. So it kind of like threw us for a loop, like, whoa, that was interesting. Like both of us had that same experience. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit is like the importance of purging, right? Because a lot of people go like, okay, I'm interested in ayahuasca, but I don't want to be throwing up. Throwing up is actually good. Because
it's good.
Because throwing up is a release. Okay, it's a release of energies that may be stuck within our bodies. It could be like whatever we threw up and let go, because that's something I didn't want to hold energetically within my being. And it could be also disease, right? It could be trauma. It could be addictions, whatever. It could be anything. But so not everybody necessarily purges through throwing up. I mean, you could have diarrhea, you could be crying, you could be yawning, you could be doing shaking. There could be like profound shaking in the body, and that's also a way of releasing it. So there are many ways of releasing things from our tissue, from our physical body, but the release is necessary to let go of old things, old stuff that no longer resonates or that doesn't serve us any longer.
And I think a lot of people go to plant medicine ceremonies for that, for healing, for releasing, for clearing out, getting rid of addictions, traumas, or, whatever it is. But we want to share that after that, we were able to talk to each other and process and integrate, all of that, with each other, which was awesome and amazing. I think I videoed Iggy after that. I have like a 15-minute video because he couldn't stop talking after the ceremony. When we went back to the cabin,
it felt like the downloads kept coming down. I had like
it was just so funny.
I mean, I had such a beautiful experience post this release. Like I had like communion with source. I was getting lessons of creation. I would like I had a beautiful session with our Arcturian mother. I had also then later on, once we already left the Molokai and we went to our room, I continued getting download from breatharians. I was like getting download about how we have ability to modify our DNA, our own code. It's just incredible amount of information that was coming through.
And I don't think that could have came through unless he purged all of that stuff out.
Yes,
So,
because that created certain level of resistance within me that I wouldn't be open to certain information, right? So that needed to leave. That needed to look, and I was so grateful from the bottom of my heart and soul that darkness left.
Yeah. And so for us, we're able to process those, ceremonies and integrate, with each other. And so it's nice to know that, we're going through all of this, but we're not alone, in it. And so this is why for us, we have, since we do retreats now for several years, we found that the integration part, after having such a life-changing experience in ceremony, like, it's so life-changing for people. It's now, what do you do with that? How do you go back to your life when you're out of the container? How do you go back to your life? And so Iggy and I do teach a lot of different practices
and
techniques for people to use so that you have tools in your toolbox. So when something happens in your life, say for instance, like you get triggered, then you have these tools and you could use these tools, energetic tools for you, so that you know how to navigate now through. And you're not gonna, if it was a trigger, like say for instance, somebody, you got angry about something, like you're not gonna stay in that anger for long. So we teach like different practices and techniques to navigate through your life, certain practices, and then also we talk about different things to do on a daily basis to keep your energetic frequency at a certain maintained at a certain level, so that you are like striving to vibrate, higher as much as you can. And when you do, different practices like meditation, that kind of thing, it can help you. Not get so attached to the 3D world and not get attached to all of the chaos that's in front of you.
And that already starts at the retreat. So we already start talking about what happens when you go back. Okay. We tell people you will be triggered. You will come across difficult situations. Yeah. You will see energetic mismatches, right? And what do you choose to do about it? So you have options, you have choices. And this is what we talk about along with the tools and techniques. So then when people come to those situations, it's, we talked about it. I recognize this. I have this at my disposition, and I can utilize these techniques to like protect myself energetically or disconnect from that, do cord cutting, whatever it is.
Yeah. We teach psychic protection, as well as we teach the tenets of the law of one. Also, we teach about physical practices that you can do
that strengthen your field.
Yeah, that strengthen your energy field, that keep you spiritually aligned and in balance. And because we have to here in this physicality, because we are here in the human body, this is really what we're doing. We are embodying our soul. We have to bring more of our soul into the body and experience those aspects of our soul here. And so when we start to release, through plant medicine ceremonies, you start to release all of the wounding, the pain, the traumas, the abandonment issues, all of the inner child wounding, you experience ancestral wounding leaving you, all of those things that you hold within your DNA, you start to clear, during plant medicine ceremonies. And we find that doing plant medicine really accelerates you spiritually. And if you go in with that intention. And so these are sacred plants, not just ayahuasca, but psilocybin does that too. Peyote, wachuma, iboga, different plants can help you accelerate. So we feel that in the future, the way that the mental health industry is right now will go away. It's not going to be how it is. Well, all of the healthcare industry, allopathic medicine is that's going away.
And we can see that clearly allopathic medicine is ineffective when it comes to chronic disease and mental disease, right? Mental illness, mental health. It's just shooting in the dark, really, and using medication that really is not serving people. A lot of these like antidepressants or anti-anxiety drugs, they attenuate people. They perhaps are no longer depressed severely, but they have also no joy. They basically are like these drones. And that's what kind of life is that when you have no joy in existence?
And when you're in a plant medicine ceremony, sometimes you can experience what those dark energetic attachments are that you hold, and you can get clarity on why certain things have happened to you, where you experience trauma, you experience pain, and what that was. And because as humans, we're really not designed we're not designed for that. We were here to be angelic galactic humans on the planet with all of our DNA fully activated, and we only have 2 strands of our DNA activated. And so and we were really hijacked. We were hijacked from the dark forces, and they did a lot of things to humans where
including DNA manipulation.
Yeah, including DNA manipulation. So we really don't understand the power that we hold, the power in our consciousness. And this is what this pivotal time on Earth right now, we're moving towards this expansion of our consciousness right now. So a lot of people are journeying to take the sacred plants because they feel a pull and a calling to them. Because I do feel like the consciousness of the plants too are doing that. What was told to me in Costa Rica when we had our retreat, the Mama Ayahuasca told me too that she holds a biotechnology within her to help awaken humanity. That's what she said to me. She said that to me, that these plants were given to humanity, that they were here to help humanity from the illusion, from the illusion. And so these sacred plants hold biotechnology. But she also told me that we as humans hold the same biotechnology as the plants. We just don't know how to use it, within us, to help our own selves, awaken. And so these plants were put on Earth to help humanity understand ourselves on a vaster level, on a soul level. So we know that in the future, more and more people are going to seek out, these plant medicine ceremonies. And we also know, since we've been in this community in the world of plant medicine, that not everybody is holding them with reverence. That they're seeing these ceremonies more as like moneymakers and profiting, and like you're ringing in my ears right now. So they are just not having a lot of integrity,
Right. And so there are definitely charlatans out there, people who see it as an opportunity to make money quick
Especially
buck.
for
And
Westerners.
yes, and so like we've heard horror stories from people and friends who
Crazy
were given
stuff.
pills instead of ayahuasca tea.
Or the shaman left.
The shaman left in the middle of the ceremony, which is like, I mean, this is the person supposed to be holding energetically space and keep the protection and safety for the sacred circle. And look, leaving in the middle of ceremony is absolutely no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if they would go to the bathroom, but this person just disappeared and never to be seen again. And so like when you hear stories like that, you can tell that there are some people who are not in their integrity and they're in there only for the money. They don't really care about people, their healing process, their spiritual journey or expansion. And so
we've heard about shamans drinking alcohol. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but alcohol lowers your vibration, and this is
invites entities to enter you
dark
and manipulate you.
Your energy field, and I'm like, how can a shaman drink alcohol? Wow, like just for me, that's just like, whoa, I would not do ayahuasca with that shaman who's not even in charge of their mastering their own energy. Because if you're going to be a space holder and a facilitator of this sacred medicine, I feel that you have to have a level of mastery, energetic mastery within self. And so I was like, oh, hell no, am I going to be going over there to do the ceremony?
I mean, there's certain responsibility that comes with that to hold certain level of purity within.
Yeah.
So you are in alignment with the light and with the source, right? And if you allow other forces to kind of manipulate you, then how can you be truly holding that space with unconditional love and integrity?
Right. And so for Iggy and I, because we do, facilitate plant medicine ceremonies here where we live in Northern California, we facilitate cacao ceremonies, which is not psychedelic, but we do cacao and hoppy ceremonies, but it just provides, we know that we're holding space for a journey for people. And so we want to keep ourselves, in integrity and authenticity and be as high vibrational because we are holding space for other people. So there are certain things that we do, practices that we do, certain things that like every day, to keep our vibration high so we can maintain this level of vibration so we can do this spiritual work. So it's, for us, we know that we're not just going to go and do ayahuasca with anyone. We have been invited, and I'm just like, no.
So we've been guided. We've been guided to certain tools, to certain practices, and as well, we really were committed to our own healing, to our own personal development.
I mean, I'm still doing my own healing, daily.
I am as well.
2 hours or more of my own heat right now. I'm doing like 90 days of cacao, doing 2 hours or more of my own personal healing every single day. Cause well, for me, knowing my mission on the planet, I know I'm going to up level. There's an up leveling that's going to happen. So I have to do this for myself, and they're guiding me to do this. So if you listen to that guidance as to who to go to for plant medicine ceremony, really use your heart, use your intuition, and just don't go just because this is a beautiful 5-star retreat center and it's amazing and they have doctors there, they have who's holding that ceremony? Right.
Talk to people, get personal references from those who've attended, and and also listen to the other side, the dissenting aspect of it, people who didn't have so good experiences. And why? Because that casts a little bit different light at things. Places that are advertising and moving a lot of people through, they tend to only post positive feedback and testimonials, but they will not share anything negative. And we've heard that some places actually are trying to suppress negative feedback because it gets in the way of their business.
Yeah.
So, being very mindful, who are you doing this work with? Because it's all about energetics, the intentions and integrity of people involved. And we keep that so much in the forefront of our consciousness, because to us, this is the most sacred work that we do on the planet, and we honor every soul, and we have nothing but the highest interests of people involved in mind, whatever their desires are, not ours. So it's like, we put our egos aside and be there for everybody, for their own personal development, for their own personal growth and expansion.
Yes, and so it's really just important to, do some research into how ceremonies and who's going to be facilitating, the ceremonies. There's a certain level of trust, to have and for you to feel good about doing this multidimensional work, because you're going to be going into spaces where you've never been before and experiencing things that you've never experienced before. And you're going to go into like uncharted territory for your human, to experience.
Absolutely.
On the soul level, you already know.
And there are possibilities of even to have a temporary paralysis on psychedelic drugs. So, that the feeling of safety is super important, right?
Medicine.
Yeah.
So all we want to do is we want to share that there's an importance in like choosing where you go to do plant medicine, and then also the integration piece of it after you do the ceremony or ceremonies, because this is where the transformation lies. The transformation lies into what you're going to decide and do after. And for us, we know that to provide the support post-ceremony is important for us because of our own personal experience, because we didn't have that. And we know that if we are there for people to help them navigate through energies and all of the things that may come up for them, their 3D mind, and still the ego can come up and say like different things or whatever, that we know that there's going to be these blocks coming up and challenges coming up for people. And it's crucial in those 3 months afterwards we feel to have someone there, to have someone there for support. So for every retreat, Iggy and I provide 3 months of post-integration support where we teach different techniques. We're there for guidance. And sometimes
we're available for one-on-one for
and
everyone who attends our retreats.
And sometimes I do, read somebody's energy field, and I do light language on them, depending on like whatever it is that they need. So everybody that's come on retreat with us really gets that post-retreat support, which we feel is so vital. We wish that all retreat centers were doing this. We really wish that people who take others to ceremonies, we wish that they were doing this, and because it's hard to do it alone. It's hard to do it alone, especially when it's like such a transformational experience. And so we just want you guys to know that anything you do with us, we provide, a lot of support afterwards.
Prior and after.
Actually, a lot prior to coming on,
because preparation is equally important. And this is perhaps another talk that we can have.
We'll talk about that next time. But afterwards, we feel is so, oh my God, so highly important. And so if you're watching this and you've already done plant medicine but didn't get support, you can reach out to us, because we do that too. If you've done other retreats, or if you've done a ceremony with somebody else or whatever, and you need that support, we do provide that support for anyone and everyone. It doesn't really matter if you've gone with us, or
we encourage you to reach out to us if you need that support or guidance.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to message us and email us or whatever, because we want to start talking about this. We want to start talking about the sacred medicines and how it can help, especially like cacao. If you drink 30 days of cacao, it'll change your life, so much. So this is why we call this cacao conversations, cacao and conscious conversations, because we really want to bring forth conversations about how to elevate your life, how to elevate your consciousness, how to become a better version of yourself. So thank you guys so much for
turn up your badassery.
Yeah, and be unfuckwithable, right?
Totally.
Be unfuckwithable. So thank you so much for listening to this entire talk with us. Our goal is to provide these weekly talks so that we can share experiences, share the things that we've done to help us, understand more about ourselves and bring in the soul, into our
and be of service,
our body,
assist others.
And we know that we are here to help all the light workers, the star seeds, all those new earth visionaries,
star sisters, star brothers.
Yeah, we're here for you guys. We love you guys so much, and we can't wait to connect again.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I love you.
Peace out.